So we're here with Giovanni.
Hi there, I am
Hey,
Giovanni
man.
from Frap Tools, and we are talking about our Magnolia, our 8-voice analog through zero FM synthesizer. A few sounds first, because Magnolia is capable of playing those kind of plucky FM sounds, or more complex and elaborate patches that remind some sort of West Coast kind of modular sounds, or evolving pads with textures, but also more conventional and traditional monophonic synth sound. So I would say that we can start from scratch by initializing a patch. Right now we have the default structure is 8 voices, 8 analog voices, each with 2 oscillators, 1 and 2. Oscillator 1 is the, so to speak, more East Coast one with through 0 FM, continuous wave shape, wave folder, and flip sync option.
Fantastic.
Oscillator 2 is the more traditional one with continuously variable wave shape as well, but also PWM and a sort of sawtooth modulation that we will hear in a minute. We have a mixer, the noise is yet to come. We have high pass and low pass filters, both resonant, both 24 dB per octave. Dedicated loopable 6-stage envelopes for FM amount, filters, 2 of them, and VCA. Right now, we are listening just to 8 sine waves of the first timbre, because Magnolia is bi-timbral, so we can have 2 sub-programs within each program. And I would say that we can start by hearing how the FM sounds. Since this is FM, the result depends on the tuning of the second oscillator. And this is polyphonic, so we can have very complex sounds that we can tame through the dedicated envelope like this. It can lead us also to some more glass-like bell sound. These kind of things. And on top of that, we have the wave shaper and the wave folder.
Nice.
Now, all these parameters can interact with one another. And we can tame them by cross-modulating with the same envelope, because this one by default is assigned with the true 0 FM. But we can assign it to whatever destination we want through the assign button. For example, we can use like a negative envelope over the wave folder, which bring this one in only after the true 0 FM has done its job. For even more complex and evolving sounds, oscillator number 2 is more straightforward but no less powerful. If we are on the square wave, we can take advantage of the variable symmetry to do pulse width modulation. If we are on the sawtooth, we can experience the circuit that I was mentioning earlier that emphasizes the first overtone. And let's say that we want to do pulse width modulation. We can set it to the center, select an LFO through the assign button, as we did earlier with the envelope, and simply rotate the knob like this.
And is that setting the range? Is that setting the range?
Yeah, that is
depth
the
of
modulation depth, which can be positive or negative. For example, with asymmetrical waveforms, like a sawtooth, I can want it like going down like this or up like this. But let's stick to a more traditional. And now I think it's time to bring the filter in. It's 24 dB per octave resonant. But
Lovely.
this is just part A, so the whole keyboard is bi-timbral, so we can select part B and program kind of a different sound for like a more percussive FM kind of sound. And assign, for example, let's keep it lower, and use an arpeggiator. And we can combine the two parts, for example, in dual mode. And there is also a split mode, and we are currently working on an implementation of the morph circuit that should integrate all the parameters for part A over to part B. The keyboard is also capable of other traditional techniques like monophonic or legato, which we can better appreciate with longer envelopes. Let's have more resonance. But also, since we are using just one note at a time, we might want to assign more voices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5, and have a unison. Or even a chord, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like this.
And do you have a choice for the unison width?
Not yet, but we are working on the spread function that should deal on, and also on a detune function that should deal on how to make the keyboard sound quote unquote worse. So like more analog, more out of tune, and more spread across the stereo field.
Like deconstruct it.
Yeah,
that's
something
great.
like that. I think that we can just spend a few more words on the modulation metrics. We come from the modular world, so all our circuit come from our modules, Eurorack modules that we've been developing over the past years. All is analog, except for the forthcoming effects section that will feature maybe a delay and a chorus. So we wanted to retain the cable, the patch cables approach. So we can see that we have red LEDs light up, and these are the modulation sources, and they mean that they are active. But we also have white LEDs, and they are for the modulation destinations, and it means that they are being modulated. Right. And if you want to patch or unpatch a cable, we just hit toggle, select the desired modulation destination, and we can see that only one LED is up, which is the LFO. And we can remove it like this. And that's done. We have also polyphonic aftertouch that we can assign, for example, to a classic cutoff. Well, polyphonic aftertouch on a monophonic keyboard is kind of pointless, but now... And there we are, velocity on, velocity off, key track, and the two mod wheels. Fantastic. I would say that this pretty much wraps up the main features of this instrument.
Can you assign any particular parameter?
Yeah, everything with an LED with underneath is a potential destination. Even the pitch, for example, if we bring, let's use. So let's say that we want to remove the modulation, the envelope from the folder, we can get a more traditional sound. But if we want to assign, for example, the mod wheel to the pitch, the discrete octave selector becomes the modulation amount And so right now we can do like this, which may be rather pointless, but if we assign the flip sync function, we can get the...
That's nice. Cool. And what sort of memory does it have on it in terms of storage?
It will
presets, all that kind
feature 512 presets, like 8 groups of 8 banks of 8 presets.
Amazing. And just a quick look around the other side.
Yeah, sure.
What's the sort of input and output that we have here?
Oh yeah, this is under construction because this is a pre-production unit. So the final unit will surely feature 2 expression pedals, a sustain pedal, and full MIDI compatibility. We are actually considering MPE. We are gathering feedbacks at this stage of development.
Excellent, excellent. And just finally, yeah, what's the roadmap for release and how much do you think it's going to be?
So it will surely hit the stores within the year and hopefully by late summer, early on autumn. We have an ideal price point of 3,995. And yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you so much, Giovanni. It's an amazing machine.
Thank you for passing by. My name is Giovanni from Frap Tools, and this was Magnolia, our 8-voice analog through 0 FM synthesizer. Thanks for watching.